Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully because what I'm about to say might change the way you connect with a woman forever. You see, the difference between a kiss that's forgettable and one that lingers in her mind for days, that wakes her up at night replaying the moment, is not just in your lips, but where you choose to place them. Most men go straight for the lips and stop there, predictable, routine, boring. But if you truly want to awaken her senses, if you want to unlock that side of her that she may not even know exists, then it's time to understand the secret. A woman's body is a map of hidden desires, and the kiss is the key that opens them. So today, I'm revealing 5 places to kiss a woman that drives her absolutely wild. These aren't about lust alone, they're about connection, anticipation, and sending a message without saying a single word. If you're ready to make her feel something real, keep listening. When it comes to intimacy, especially in the early stages of emotional and physical connection, many men underestimate the immense power held in a kiss, not just any kiss, but a kiss that is deliberate, well placed, and emotionally intelligent. A woman's body is not merely a canvas of physical pleasure zones, it is a map of emotional complexity, and every area responds differently depending on how and why it's touched. The kiss, when applied with awareness, sensitivity, and confidence, becomes the single most potent tool a man can use to awaken desire, build connection, and ignite chemistry that lingers far beyond the moment. It is far more than a casual expression of affection. It is a language, a sensual dialogue that, when spoken fluently, speaks to her heart, mind, and body all at once. Most men kiss to express interest, to initiate foreplay, or to signal passion, but few realize that the true purpose of a kiss is to create safety, anticipation, and emotional intimacy all at once. When a man understands that, everything changes. The woman senses something different in his energy. He is not kissing her to get somewhere. He's not rushing or acting out of a script. He is present. He's attuned to her breath, to the subtle movements of her body, to the pace at which she opens up. And that changes how she responds to him. A kiss from such a man becomes a soul-stirring experience. The first point in the speech focuses on this awareness, the emotional, psychological, and physical depth of kissing. This awareness transforms the act from something ordinary into something unforgettable. A kiss is her first indication of your emotional intelligence, your patience, your sensual discipline, and your focus. It tells her whether you're just hungry for her body or truly captivated by her essence. When you pause to kiss with presence, with real intention, it becomes an act of reverence, not just passion. And that is what women crave at their core, to be not only wanted, but deeply seen and valued. The power of a kiss lies not in its intensity, but in its sincerity. Is your kiss gentle, or is it rushed? Do you explore or invade? Do you linger or leap forward? Women feel these nuances. They interpret touch with their emotions. That's why kissing the right way is not about technique, but about energy. When your energy is grounded, when your intent is clear, when your kiss is designed to explore rather than conquer, you unlock something within her that few men ever reach. She begins to crave you, not just physically, but emotionally. She begins to associate your touch with safety, desire, and a sense of being known. That's why the kiss is more than an act, it's a message. And when delivered with thoughtfulness, it can rewrite how she sees you and remembers you long after the moment has passed. Out of all the sensual zones on a woman's body, the neck remains one of the most emotionally evocative and physically sensitive places that can be touched or kissed. And when done right, it creates a ripple effect of desire that no other part of her body can quite replicate. The neck holds power not only because of its anatomical sensitivity, being filled with nerve endings that connect directly to pleasure centers in the brain, but because of its symbolism in intimacy. The neck is a place of vulnerability. It's often exposed but rarely touched, and when it is touched or kissed gently, it signals both protection and desire. When a man kisses a woman on the neck, particularly with intentional slowness and reverent attention, it evokes a primal response. It makes her feel wanted, cherished, and even slightly powerless in the best way, like she can let go and just feel. It's not about being forceful or overly eager. It's about understanding how delicate and emotionally responsive this area is. A slow kiss near the base of her neck, a whisper into the curve just beneath her ear, or a trail of warm breaths along her collarbone can instantly cause a shift in her mood, energy, and connection to you. And what makes the neck so potent is the anticipation it creates. It's a space that is close enough to the face to feel affectionate, yet far enough from her more private areas to still feel respectful and emotionally safe. You're telling her, "I want you, but I also honor you." That message, conveyed through the softness of your lips and the steadiness of your presence, hits her in a place words can't reach. And when paired with eye contact before or after, it makes her feel deeply seen and appreciated. This kind of neck kiss becomes even more powerful when it is not rushed, when you savor the moment, when your hands rest gently on her waist or slide slowly up her back, when you let your mouth linger for a heartbeat longer than expected. It's in these micro moments that her body starts to melt. Her breathing changes, her posture relaxes, her mind stops racing, and all of that because you kissed her neck like she mattered. This is the kind of gesture that women dream about but rarely experience, because most men are too distracted to be present. But when you take your time and truly kiss her neck with the understanding that this is one of the most emotionally layered and sensually reactive places on her body, she won't just enjoy it, she'll crave it. She'll start associating your kiss with safety, tension release, and the kind of desire that feels like being worshipped, not just touched. And that emotional experience is what draws her to you again and again. The ears are an often overlooked yet exquisitely sensitive erogenous zone that can awaken an avalanche of sensations when stimulated with subtlety and sensual intelligence. Kissing, nibbling, or even just whispering near a woman's ears can send electric pulses down her spine, not because the act is overtly sexual, but because it feels deeply personal, private, and intimate. There's a unique blend of vulnerability and stimulation that exists around the ears. Unlike more obvious areas of the body that are expected to be kissed, the ears are more hidden, protected, and emotionally charged, which is precisely why engaging with them properly feels so intimate. The gentle flick of a tongue against the earlobe, the warm pressure of lips against the curve of the ear, or even a breathy whisper that barely grazes the skin can cause goosebumps, raise her heart rate, and flood her body with dopamine and anticipation. This is especially effective because the ear is connected directly to the brain's pleasure center via the vagus nerve, making any stimulation in that area not just physical, but deeply neurological. But what makes it even more powerful is how you use your voice along with the kiss. A deep, slow whisper, something meaningful, sexy, or even romantic, can be more effective than the most intense physical act because it reaches her psychologically. She feels seen, desired, and seduced on multiple levels, all at once. It's about pacing and tone, the contrast between touch and space, silence and speech. The sound of your voice mixed with the sensation of lips or breath activates her entire sensory field. Many women find this kind of stimulation so overwhelming that they can barely stand still during it, not from discomfort, but from how deeply it hits their emotional and sensory system. When a man takes his time to explore this area gently, not with the desperation of lust but the grace of admiration, it communicates thoughtfulness and care. It tells her he is patient, attentive, and deeply attuned to her responses. That kind of stimulation is not something she forgets easily. She will remember the way your breath felt on her skin, the way your lips paused just long enough to send shivers through her, the way your voice made her feel like the only woman in the world. This level of attention to detail, to the unseen and unexpected zones of pleasure, is what separates a forgettable encounter from an unforgettable experience. She will not only crave your kisses, but the feeling of closeness and emotional safety that came with them. And that's what drives her wild, not just the kiss, but the man behind it who knew how to make her feel completely and thoroughly desired. One of the most emotionally meaningful and sensually resonant places to kiss a woman is her forehead. To some men, this may seem like a purely platonic or affectionate gesture, but to a woman, it holds far more weight than most realize. The forehead kiss is symbolic. It speaks the language of protection, presence, respect, and deep care. It's the kind of kiss that bypasses the body and speaks directly to the heart, and when a man places this kiss at the right moment, whether it's after an intimate exchange, during a vulnerable conversation, or in a quiet, comforting moment, it tells her that he sees her soul, not just her body. The forehead is a place of emotional sanctity. When kissed gently, it gives a woman the feeling of being cherished, valued, and emotionally safe in a way that words cannot express. It's not about lust or desire in the traditional sense, but rather about emotional foreplay, the kind that melts defenses and fosters deep connection. This kiss doesn't have to be accompanied by grand gestures or dramatic flair. In fact, its simplicity is what makes it powerful. It's in the stillness of a moment, the silent but firm press of lips to skin, that a woman feels held, and that feeling of being held, emotionally and energetically, is what causes her to lower her guard and lean in closer. It's the emotional safety this kiss offers that drives her wild, because women are wired to seek connection before surrender. When she senses that your love or attraction is not merely physical, but spiritual and emotional, she will begin to crave you in a way that goes beyond passion. She will associate you with peace, with comfort, with trust, and those are the building blocks of long-term obsessive desire. Kissing a woman on the forehead also shows maturity. It says that you are a man who understands the value of emotional intelligence. It tells her that your connection with her is not just transactional, but transformative. When you show her that she is not just a body to you, but a whole person, mind, heart, and soul, you create an emotional imprint that makes your presence unforgettable. Women long to be seen in this way, and when you deliver it through something as simple and intentional as a forehead kiss, you set yourself apart from every man who came before you. She will think about you when you're not around. She will feel pulled toward you not just because of chemistry, but because of the way you made her feel safe and valued. That's the kind of kiss that lingers in her memory for days, even years. Another area that holds immense power when kissed with care and curiosity is the inside of a woman's wrist. It may seem unconventional, even random to some, but the wrist is one of the most underappreciated yet sensually reactive zones on her body. The skin there is incredibly thin and sensitive, with a network of nerve endings that respond sharply to even the lightest touch. When a man takes a woman's hand gently, turns it over, and places a slow, lingering kiss on her inner wrist, it is one of the most disarming and intimate moves he can make. It's an unexpected gesture that catches her off guard in the most beautiful way. She doesn't anticipate it, and that surprise element heightens her emotional and physical response. But more than that, this act exudes a kind of gentlemanly sensuality, a refined eroticism that doesn't scream lust but whispers longing. It says you're not in a rush, that you find beauty in the smallest of details, and that you're deeply present with her in the moment. A kiss on the wrist, especially when paired with direct eye contact, sends a rush of adrenaline and oxytocin through her body. It's not aggressive or demanding. It's delicate, respectful, and subtly dominant in the sense that it commands attention without needing to take control. Women find this incredibly attractive. It makes them feel precious, not possessed, desired, not devoured. And because it's not a place most men think to kiss, it becomes uniquely yours in her memory. She will associate that moment with you, and every time she glances at her wrist, she'll remember the kiss, the energy, and the connection. That's the kind of impact subtle intimacy can have. When you pay attention to a woman's wrists, you're telling her that you see her not just in grand strokes, but in fine detail. You notice the places that others ignore. And in doing so, you communicate that your attraction is thoughtful, intentional, and deep. That makes her feel chosen, not just wanted. And when a woman feels chosen on that level, she becomes emotionally entangled in a way that drives her wild. She wants more, not just of your touch, but of your presence, your energy, and your mind. That's the power of knowing where and how to kiss a woman's wrist. It's not just a move, it's a message. One that says you are unlike anyone she's ever known. Lastly, one of the most obvious yet misunderstood places to kiss a woman is her lips. Yes, lips are the centerpiece of most romantic interactions, but their true power only comes alive when the kiss is done with presence, intention, and rhythm. Most men rush this moment, driven by excitement or nerves, and in doing so, they miss the magic. A woman's lips are an extension of her emotional being. They are not just made for physical pleasure, but for communicating chemistry, vulnerability, and mutual understanding. A kiss on the lips that is done slowly, with changes in pace and pressure, becomes a dance, a conversation of breath, emotion, and energy. The first kiss you give her, and everyone after that, tells her exactly who you are. Are you present? Are you focused on her responses? Are you tuned in to what she wants, or are you just taking what you want? These questions are answered instantly through the way you kiss. A great kiss makes a woman feel seen, cherished, and understood. It aligns your energy with hers. When you gently tease her bottom